Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And we have a lot to talk about. President Trump is no longer allowing anyone to get in his way regarding funding for the wall. He is now speaking directly to the nation. And this is a very, very, very good thing. A very good thing. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Also, check out my latest HA Second Amendment. This is a .357 Magnum revolver. It's right here. And I will share this out right now. So check that out. It is my latest upload, HA Second Amendment. Definitely check that out. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. What can I tell you? Other than there are a great many people trying to overlook serious issues regarding national security. So national security is the focus here. It's not so much... I'm not okay with a wall because I have anything against immigrants. That's not the issue. I have dreamers who are wonderful friends, wonderful people. The vast majority of undocumented immigrants are great people. Of course, there are some people who are criminals. That's not... The wall will help prevent those people from getting in. But the main issue is the flow of illegal narcotics. In my mind, the flow of illegal narcotics and the trafficking of narcotics, could be of people. These are national security issues. So, and these are issues that need to be addressed. They're not addressed by the Democratic Party or the media because that's seen as horrible, uncouth, racist, terrible. But these are all issues that need to be addressed. These are issues that President Trump hopefully will address tomorrow night. He has to... Exactly, Marlene, I agree. He has to address this and communicate and articulate exactly what's going on. He can't simply just get the wall and check it off as a campaign or a victory. Promises made, promises kept. He has to explain, articulate, and then Democrats can say, oh my God, he's at it again. He's at it again. So horrible. So, oh my God, this is so terrible. And let them, this is the thing, let them go on record. So what Trump is doing is very interesting. He's letting them go on record as saying, well, we don't really need any wall. They're actually talking about a fence. So a fence is okay for them. A wall is not. A fence is good. Wall is bad. Fence, not racist. Wall, totally, totally racist. Nader, hello. Alafari, hello. Happy New Year to you. Matthew Rosenfeld, Happy New Year. Hello, everyone. Phoenix, Marla Wing, hello. So this is really interesting. Trump's going to speak to the nation tomorrow, and he needs to do more of this. He really needs to do more of this because the only contact or the only communication that takes place between Trump and the American people for like 2 years, the majority of is just hysterical nonsense. Oh, he colluded with Russia. He's a racist. He's a racist who colluded with Russia. He's a bigoted person who worked for Putin. He's Putin's puppet bigot. he's Putin's horrible ogre monster. That has to change. I mean, he needs to do more of these. And Trump address. Let's go ahead and so broadcast. Oh, and here we have CNN broadcast networks and cable channels set to air prime. Okay, so it was like Trump is still MX3, ABC, NBC, and CBS will air Trump's address live. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? It's like ridiculous. Why wouldn't they? It's the president of the United States of America. I love how they make this into like this. Are they really going to allow Trump to speak to the American public who elected him as president of the United States of America? Oh my God. Are they really going to let this man speak? It's like there are people like H.A. Goodman. There are people like you. There's 63 million people who voted for President Trump. Not everyone has the sensibilities of Bill Maher or people at The View or whatever. People can look back and say, like, Hillary Clinton referred to black youth as super predators. Trump has never said anything even remotely as offensive and horrible as that. So let's see. So this is President Donald J. Trump. I am pleased to inform you that I will address the nation on the humanitarian and national security crisis on our southern border Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. This is actually a very important issue. It's not an issue like from a progressive or liberal perspective. You can't simply deceive immigrants from Central America or from Mexico, taking long, dangerous with their children treks at the border. That, I mean, this is like the love that they have for their, they want a better life, like all immigrants. I understand that. I respect these people greatly because they're risking their lives to come here. It's different from like, American citizens like me and you, or I'm maybe not you, but like, I don't know who's watching at this moment, but I'm saying the average American is not going to do a lot of the jobs that these immigrants do. And that's just when Italian immigrants were coming and Polish immigrants and Irish immigrants. That's just immigrants are more willing to do work that citizens are not willing to do. That is a reality, which is why more than half of American agriculture employs illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants. But the issue with a border wall is this. You have to have some kind of barrier where people understand that, look, it's not easy to get in. It's not easy to get into the country. Not because of any xenophobic or bigoted or racist reasons, simply because they can't be deceived. They can't be deceived. And Democrats are very interesting. They're like, they deceive people by letting them think that they can just come in and it's easy and it's not a problem. That's also an issue. There needs to be some kind of physical barrier to let people know that you just can't bring children. You can't simply cross the border. It'll be okay. So that's another issue. That's something that probably people haven't really thought of, but that's actually a progressive or liberal perspective. These are the liberals and progressives who are like, oh, Obama deported 2.5 million people, but they changed the issue, the definition of deportation. So actually what he did was just send people back into the desert. How is that moral? Now they're going from abolish ICE to... No, that's not true at all. Well, less than 1%, I guess. No, that's like 10, more than 1%. Agriculture in the U.S. I wrote an article on this, actually. Police undocumented in U.S. agriculture. These U.S. industries can't work without illegal immigrants. June 27, 2018, CBS News. So let's see. They make up 5% of the U.S. workforce. Hospitality, 53% of hired farmers, 15% of construction, 6%, 9% of production, 9% of service. So what unauthorized workers do on undocumented immigrants, CBS News, make up more than half of the hired labor on farms. So that, according to one estimate, is, let's see. Further studies show the importance that authors make up 24% of maids and cleaners in occupation, expected to need 112,000 more workers by 2024 in construction. All right. So you really have to look at the employers, the American employers who hire undocumented immigrants. But the main issue is the trafficking of drugs, narcotics. Charles Bowden talks a lot about this. He's really an amazing writer. Charles Bowden has written a great deal about the violence, the criminal behavior, the chaos that takes place oftentimes at the U.S.-Mexico border. This is also an issue. If you can impede or stop the flow of drugs, the trafficking of all different types, that protects the country. It is a national security issue. It is a national security issue. Hopefully, President Trump explains this, because you're going to have all the Democrats and all the progressives and liberals just waiting, because their whole thing is a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle. No, it's not. There is no racist voting base. I know people who are like, oh yeah, most Trump supporters are racist. No, 63 million. There's not 363 million rabid, bigoted people. That's not the dog whistle. Was actually Hillary Clinton who used a 3 a.m. ad to speak subliminally to Southern Democrats. O.J. Clinton, the best in America in one name. Obamacrats have taken their message of hope international. Bail out the banks, bail out the world, middle class. Your check is in the mail. O.J. Clinton, yes. O.J. Clinton. Lupe Stella, hello. Hello, Lupe Stella, hello. O.J. Clinton, the best in America in one name. So I am pleased to inform you that I will address the nation on the humanitarian and national security crisis on our southern border Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So he needs to communicate. He needs to communicate all these things. He needs to communicate. I mean, there's a lot of things also that I can't really say on live streams or on YouTube that I mean, I guess I could, but I don't want, like, to really explain what's going on at the U.S.-Mexico border. If you read a Charles Bowden book, you'll see, I mean, there's so many heinous things taking place. There's so many gruesome things taking place. And I can't really explain. That's why I try to kind of go around, a bunch of topics. But there's a national security case to be made. Even from a liberal perspective, there's no way, like, a progressive or liberal or Democrat or whatever, a person on the left can say that there's no need for a wall. That's not even an argument. You can say that a wall won't won't impede or won't prevent illegal narcotics or, the trafficking of all different types of things. But those issues are still, those are national security issues. There are still national security issues at the border. And more likely than not, a physical barrier will help protect the country from those issues. That's clear cut. That's clear cut. Democrats are convincing themselves now it's a fence, but not a wall. So they're okay with it. Or they're becoming, hey, AJ, can you say hello to Piper? He's 13 and watching, she's 13, sorry, and watching her first live stream of you with me. Hello, Piper. How are you? Bruce Tamazuski. Thank you so very much. Bruce Tamazuski, thank you. Piper, hello. And I am honored that both of you are watching this live stream. Thank you so very much. And Happy New Year to both of you. And thank you so much. Thank you, Piper, for watching. Thank you. So this is the best. Donald Trump. The failing New York Times has knowingly written a very inaccurate story on my intentions. See, this is where the homeless walrus comes in. John Bolton, the homeless walrus. If you look at John Bolton, he looks like a walrus, but a homeless walrus. And John Bolton's only job is to let the establishment know it's okay. It's okay. We'll still, have never-ending conflict. You can rest easy knowing that we have Americans away from their families. No problem at all. Please don't get upset with Trump. Because Bolton now is saying, well, Trump isn't 100% certain of what he's doing. Bolton is there just to calm the Warhawks down. Bruce and Piper, thank you very much for watching. Thank you. Bruce Tamazuski, thank you. George Rivera Jr. Yes, the southern border is still the Wild West. America badly needs the wall. George Rivera Jr. I agree with you on that. I've known people who've crossed the border. I've spoken to them. I have friends who are dreamers. I have friends who I've known, wonderful, wonderful people who are undocumented immigrants. But I've known people who've crossed the border, and I know that it used to be pretty easy to do. Maybe it's easy to do. Maybe it's still easy to do. But I've known a great many people that, it's easy to cross, but it's definitely difficult and dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. And I agree with you, George Rivera Jr. National security issues. That's the issue. National security issues. Alexander, one of my buddies has a soccer channel that he's trying to build. But yeah, they watch my channel sometimes. But I'm telling him because he speaks Spanish and English, and I'm telling him, build your football channel, build your soccer channel, build your channel and they will come. Build. Do you understand what I would do if I spoke Spanish? My Spanish is horrible. I can understand barely a little bit. I speak French, but even that's my French is okay. Spanish, no, I don't speak it. Maybe a little bit. I can understand a little, but do you understand what I would do if I spoke Spanish and I liked I liked soccer? I like soccer, but if I was really into it, YouTube needs that. YouTube needs. So if you speak Spanish and you love football, if you love soccer, start a channel. And I'm talking about do analysis on the English Premier League also, not just Brazil or Mexico or whatever. But then there's Mexican leagues with Chivas and America. And if you just started a channel, I'm gonna call my buddy right now and tell him. But I don't hate soccer. I like soccer, but it's I'll watch the World Cup. But yeah, George Rivera Jr., you're right. So I gotta tell my buddy to start, continue with his channel. But anyway, the failing New York Times is knowingly no different from we will be leaving at a proper pace. Good. Leaving at a proper, as long as we're leaving. As long as we're leaving. So Congressman Adam Smith, the new chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, just stated, yes, there is a provision in the law that says a president can declare a national emergency. Declare an emergency. It's been done a number of times, no doubt, but let's get our deal done in Congress. So he's a pretty good negotiator. And what they're going to do, you know what Democrats are going to do? They're going to gaslight their own voters. Because what they were saying is like, abolish ICE, man. Abolish ICE. Abolish ICE. Border fence is okay, I guess. Meanwhile, their voters are like, they didn't want a border fence. We wanted to abolish ICE. What happened to abolish ICE? U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. What happened to abolish ICE? Abolish ICE, man. Yeah, that didn't work out too well, did it? Now you're going to have a 40-foot steel slat fence. Nancy Pelosi is going to speak to people. She's like, it's not a wall. It's a steel slat fence. That's what it's not a wall. It's a steel slat fence, everybody. She's like the Katharine Hepburn of politics. Little Trumpy with the small hands wanted his stupid concrete wall. We said no. We were going to give him a 1,000-mile-long steel slat fence. It's a nice fence. It doesn't bother anyone. You said concrete. Well, no, it's it's not going to be concrete anymore. But if you look at the fences, like you don't need concrete. You don't need a concrete fence. These poor people are not coming in through like, the jaws of life, the LAPD with the, or a tank or whatever. Hold on. Steel slat. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with a steel slat fence. I have one at my own backyard. Trump didn't. And then you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, he didn't achieve his promise. He wanted a concrete wall. We made him have a fence. It's a 40 to 50-foot barrier with it's a spiked steel barrier wall. Fence wall. Anyway, it's a barrier that nobody can really scale. You can't really scale that type of wall with the fence. I mean, with the spikes up top. Taj Mahal. I mean, so that's. The only thing is the separations between you don't want people to get stuck in there. People are going to try to kind of, you don't want to, and then then there's tunnels underneath. So you need to have sensors. It's interesting too. Straits of Hormuz. And you're like, what? What are you talking about, crazy person? The Straits of Hormuz is the Persian Gulf. And that is very, 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 very strategic waterway. And there are actually sensors. We have sensors there that if any country tried to close it or whatever, it's on. So why did I bring this up? U.S. Navy monitors that like every second. Why did I bring this up? Why? Because we'd probably have either sensors or yes to sensor. Divergent. Yes to sensors. We would probably have sensors because there could be tunnels built. So in Israel, they just well, actually in territories that they built tunnels. George Rivera Jr. Agents prefer a steel slat fence to see through to observe approaching threats. I agree, 100%. USBP Union convinced Trump to choose this design at the competition. Very cool. George Rivera Jr. Yes, because you want to be able to see what's going on. It's not like like the one funny thing one of the Democratic congressmen said is like, "Do we really want a 4th century moat and a big like castle type of you know?" So Luke St. Martin, thank you. George Rivera Jr., thank you again. So yeah, I mean, you have to be able to look, to look at what's going on. Trump has to be very cautious tomorrow. He has to be like, look, there's a lot of wonderful people. He has to be very cautious because if he just says one thing, who knows what he'd say. Like he never actually said, I'm not going to bring up the event, the horrific event, because YouTube has an issue with it. But he never actually said, oh, there's good people on both sides. He never meant the horrible tiki people. He never, ever, ever, ever meant the tiki people. The tiki torch people. Never. That was in the neuroses of the left. Like, huh? Good people on both sides? Huh? You mean the tiki torch people? You mean the tiki torch people? You said they were good people. And that was like a deliberate attempt at manipulating and twisting. Deliberate attempt. Yeah, but by that definition, Clinton is as well, and they don't use that definition. Donald Trump is not racist. You can't live in New York and you can't be a celebrity in New York and be racist. It ain't happening. New York is a city. No, I'm not. I'm not defending. They called Bernie racist, by the way. You want to know? Here, Bernie. This is why Bernie Sanders. Hold on. I don't believe that. So they were calling, people have been calling out Bernie Sanders. And I don't know why. I don't agree. But I mean, they're like, so they went after him, looking at all these tweets. I mean, that is there's even a YouTube segment on this. It's like, they went after him. They went after him all the time. So I'm saying, like, when you call someone that, like, what did they do? What did they say? Is it a conservative viewpoint that suddenly is being twisted into, oh, it's racist? Does he hate people? Is Kanye West gonna hug, or is the great Jim Brown? They asked the great Jim, yeah, that's a horrible policy. Horrible. And Democrats, billionaire Democrats, also did the same thing, which is horrible as well. But the great Jim Brown, who is a legend, by the way, I have a Walter Payton poster. I'm going to go ahead. I know you're not. I'm not talking about, I'm saying, people who Democrats also use that accusation. The great Jim Brown was asked on Fox, is Trump racist? And he goes, no, of course not. So, you know, it's like suddenly he's racist. And you know what? Also, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has a great, because they asked him, like, do you think Trump's racist? He goes, look, when was the first time you ever heard of Donald Trump being racist? He was in the limelight. He's won awards for, his altruism or philanthropic endeavors, all these things. When was the first time you heard that he was this horrible, horrible person? When he ran. Not before. But Bill and Hillary went to his wedding. So it's like suddenly, he's this horrible, horrible person. But only for, certain reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, also, please, all 500 people. This is HA with a 357. Share this, ladies and gentlemen. This is me with a 357 Magnum. Go ahead and share this. Here's the link again. Please go ahead and subscribe to HA Second Amendment. There is the link as well. Johnny 5, if you not submit to one word, one party, one global government, guess what? You're racist. Yeah, I mean, it's now come to Johnny 5. It's now come to that word is so overused in terms of an insult because it can mean it's manipulated. It's manipulated politically to just to paint people who are different politically. So it's like Johnny 5, thank you. I can guarantee you 99% the anti-wall Americans through our country well built lifetimes, so why should they care? I can guarantee you Frank, thank you. The 99% of the anti-wall Americans throughout our country will never travel to see the wall there, to see the wall when built in their lifetime anyways. So why should they care? Well, the way Democrats work, Frank, thank you so very much. Johnny 5, I agree with you. There was a great Joe Rogan live stream today with like 39,000 people. There was a great Joe Rogan live stream today. I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan. There was a great live stream with Jonathan Haidt, social psychologist and professor of ethical leadership at New York University Stern School of Business, and they totally dismantled the whole oh my God, this is bigoted, that's not bigoted, this is, Scott Adams has now dubbed Jeff Tidwell, thank you. Jeff, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Christendom, hello. All right, let's see. It's like this. Okay, hold on one second. What's going on here? That okay, first of all, I have okay, here's the problem with semantics. I have friends who are dreamers. I actually think undocumented immigrants have helped the country infinitely more than they've hurt the country. If somebody said no more undocumented immigrants, that's not necessarily a bigoted statement, especially if they have no hate in their hearts, but they just think it's bad economically. It's not a bigoted statement. I want dreamers to become citizens. I can keep my vantage point, but I don't have to condemn, as I don't know what if you hear somebody say no more undocumented immigrants. It's not there are black people who say this, white people, there are Latinos who say this. I have a buddy, a Mexican American buddy, who when I was on the left, I used to debate him. He's conservative. He's Mexican American. He's like, no, kick out all the undocumented immigrants. And he is Mexican American, Latino. And he was telling me this. And I was on the left. I was like, no, you can't do that. Discus macabre. Someone called me a demigorgon yesterday. I'm not sure what they were trying to say, but I'm beginning to suspect it was not a compliment. Kudos. HA, thank you, Discus Macabre. What is a demigorgon? I don't know what that is. Thank you. Yeah, it's like there were people on Twitter in 2016. Okay, hold on. Urban Dictionary. Oh, it's some kind of creature. I think it's like, oh, it's a dungeon demogorgon. It's a Dungeons and Dragons creature. Is it? Anyway, I don't know. Ooh, that's scary. Thank God I'm not on Twitter. Thank goodness. Oh my God. I'm so happy I'm not on Twitter. I'm so happy I'm not on Twitter. Well, they do, though. They do. Well, the views regarding Trump being a good president, Clinton, I believe Trump is a good president. In fact, I just pitched an article on that. We'll see. And if I don't get a response, I will pitch a whole bunch of. It'll get published. If you build it, they will come. If you write it, they will publish it eventually. When you hit. Just some advice. If you ever want to get something published, you have to pitch a lot of publications. A lot of publications. But I love everyone here. And I love everyone on the live stream. It's okay. You can have a different opinion. It doesn't mean that it's a nasty opinion. It doesn't mean there's hate. That's the problem. A difference in opinion doesn't mean there's hate. Like, for example, I can discuss things with a person who disagrees with Israel. And I'm not going to say they're anti-Semitic. Now, some people, you can kind of tell because of the way they talk about things. You know, there's a certain type of, there's a certain type of hatred that you can't get off a live chat but you can get it off of like a long Twitter message where you're like, wait a second, this person really doesn't like Jewish people. So as a Jewish person, I can see that. But if it's just like, if it's just like a difference of opinion, it's just a difference of opinion. I'm reading my comments. I don't know what's wrong with the comments. Where is the hate-filled, it's just a person said, what they said, they didn't think undocumented immigrants were good for the economy or whatever. I disagree. I think undocumented immigrants are good for the economy overall. I think there has to be some kind of, I think the employers, American employers who hire undocumented immigrants, the onus should be on them. The issue should be that Americans hire undocumented immigrants. The focus should be on Americans who hire undocumented immigrants. That's what I think. But building of the third temple. That was supposed to be when a third temple was supposed to be when the Messiah comes, I believe, something like that. So it'd have to be the end of the world, something like that. Anyway. But I mean, as always in the live chat, I'm very, very thankful that everyone is respectful. I know it could be a heated discussion, but there are facts, and then there are statements made that aren't fact. If a statement is made that isn't a fact, it's not necessarily made from hate. Well, I was talking about from the Jewish perspective, but thank you, Singi Talupin. Thank you. So the interesting thing is Bernie is actually okay. I think Bernie Sanders is okay with the wall. Or is he? Oh, yeah, he's not. I knew he's not okay with it, but he's definitely not the average Democrat when it comes to immigration policy. Because he stated that it's the Koch brothers. So illegal undocumented immigration, open borders, that's the Koch brothers proposal. So 2015, he tells Ezra Klein, open borders, that's a Koch brothers proposal. And Ezra Klein, at this point, tried to paint him as a socialist, which was not popular back then, not a democratic socialist. So Vox was trying to undermine Bernie. I can play that, but I'll. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Q called Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What? Q doesn't call anything. It's a message board that is open-ended to Patriots. Tomorrow or the next day, there might be drizzling, maybe even raining, or maybe sunny. Who knows? Trust the plan. Oh my God, it's sunny and raining and drizzling. This whole week it was raining and sunny and drizzling. Q said this. Oh, Q. You said it would be raining and drizzling in your riddle. This just means the military intel and the Gitmo. Oh, Q. How many more people? How much more evidence do you need? How much more evidence do you need? He predicted the weather. Thank you, Q. I love you, Q. 8chan ruined my computer because of the viruses. But other than that, the military intel people are so wonderful. And you've been so good. You did say that Clinton would get arrested at a certain time and date, but that didn't happen. You said trust sessions, that didn't happen. You said a whole bunch of things, that didn't happen. But still, the military intel people threw 8chan to get the thing, and then a one for all. How much more evidence do you need? My work is done here. We go on, we go all. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. No, thank you. I'm not going anywhere 8chan's going. Not going to hurt my antivirus software. No, thank you. You predicted. Edward Millard. Yes. Brian, I have t-shirts. They're HA-inspired apparel. They're below. It says, Profanity Alert. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the Q brick road. Rubik's Cube. He predicted Rubik's Cube. Oh, my God. Your mental breakdown was a mistake. All right, ladies and gentlemen. T-Raz, thank you. Ladies, the proofs. I love it. This is a proof. What proof? It's the riddle that is open-ended. That it basically, the people who write these riddles watch H.A. Goodman. They watch. They listen to. They read Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch, Sarah Carter, Kimberly Strassel, Dan Bongino, John Solomon, Paul Sperry, Victoria Tenzing, Joe DeGeneva. They watch Fox. Okay. Take my hand, patriots. Take my hand. Together we'll go. Through Reddit and then 8chan and then JB Factory. Word on the streets that passed. No. She's alive. Passed away, and they are waiting for Mueller or someone to eject Trump before they let the cat out of the bag. No, she's alive. Thank God. God bless her. God bless her. Even though I'm more conservative, I want her to live a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Okay. JB Factory, she's alive. She's alive. Thank you, JB Factory. Thank you, everyone. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? Have you seen her? Ooh. Yes, she just voted on something right now. Here. Oh, no. Please, Q. Don't do your classic disinfo campaign. Then I was debating Sather. He's like, disinfo is good. Look at all the disinfo you get. We have to make them disinfoed. I was like, no, they don't. Clinton doesn't care. She's drinking in the woods. She's fine. They run disinfo and hurt us. Our disinfo doesn't hurt them. It only hurts us. Ginsburg misses Supreme Court argument for the first time. Washington Post. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is missing arguments for the first time in more than 25 years as she recuperates from cancer surgery. God bless her. She's recuperating. Ginsburg was not on the bench. Okay, so she's recuperating. She's recuperating. So, have you seen her? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless. You are all awesome. One thing that I love about the people who watch this channel is that there's a lot more love than there is negative emotion. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. That's what Ringo Starr said. Don't send any more photos to sign. You will be getting an unhappy note from me, Ringo Starr. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Thank you, everyone. I'll be back. Thank you.